Every day and in almost every way, digital technology is changing life, and not always for the better. Joining us is a name you've probably seen on your computer. John McAfee pioneered antivirus software that may have come pre-installed. He's chief cybersecurity visionary for MGT and a blockchain and cryptocurrency designer. John, thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me on again.
I was in that Las Vegas ballroom a couple years ago when you keynoted at a broadcasting convention. It was a luncheon populated by broadcast engineers, usually a stoic crowd, but everyone stopped chewing when you brought a volunteer on stage and called his smartphone, which displayed his wife's name in caller ID. And then another volunteer gave you his phone number, and when you called it, his phone did not ring, but did activate the camera, unbeknownst to him, which you displayed on your phone. And while we in the audience gasped, you called these two hacks trivial, something a teenager could do. Is my phone ever really turned off?
Well, more than likely it is not. Let me tell you the problem today. People are concerned about encryption, for example, so that your data is encrypted when you send it from one phone to another. Nobody cares anymore. There is no one in the middle who's listening. Why? Because hackers have invented new techniques like keystroke loggers that log every key that you type. So if they're watching what you type, who cares what happens after it's encrypted? And then on the other end, they have the screen capture programs which capture the content of your screen. So who cares if it's encrypted in the middle? We're forgetting the fact that the hackers continue to evolve new and amazing techniques to spy on you. So you have no privacy. If you have ever visited a pornography site, if you have ever visited a questionable site that's selling XYZ, you already have, I promise you, a keylogger on your phone. Now, statistically, that's 80% of the American populace, meaning 80% of the populace is being watched, not by a human, not by a person, but by a massive bank of computers. And the computers are looking for keywords like Bitcoin, bank account, wallet, things that would interest a human. And when that happens, those keystrokes get bounced up to a human who goes, let's find out what his balance is. If you've got more than 10 grand in your account, they're simply going to empty it. Now, it's not just a matter of privacy, it's a matter of security, it's a matter of financing. The problem that we have as a culture is that we have bought into the concept that says, if you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to fear. That was invented in the 1940s by Adolf Hitler. But trust me, everybody has something to hide from someone. It's not, do you have something to hide, but from whom are you trying to hide something? From your wife? Did you have an affair sometime in the past and you're trying to avoid those discussions? From your boss? Did he find out that the day you were sick, you were actually playing golf? From the IRS? Did they discover that you had cheated on your taxes? Please, Lord, we all have something to hide. So if we will accept that, then please, we're in a tragic situation here.
Now, you talked about how visiting a certain website could expose you. What about apps? They're free, they're fun. Talk about the Trojan horses we may be letting in.
Well, yeah, of course. Why do you think apps are free? I mean, did your parents not tell you there is nothing free in this world? Nothing. So if you have an app that, and I know what it costs to develop these things, it costs $250,000 to develop, and they're giving it to you for free? What, they're humanitarians? They have too much money and they're trying to get rid of it? No. It is costing you something. Now, maybe it's trivial. Maybe it's something which is innocuous. They merely want to know what you're buying and where you are so that they can sell something to you. That's okay. You may choose not to buy it. But if it is a hacker that has gotten into your system, and what they want is your bank balance, your Bitcoin balance, or some sort of information that they can use to blackmail you, and 1,000 other reasons, then it is not innocuous. And unfortunately, that is the overwhelming majority of the malware that is in these applications. I mean, if you look at these apps and see who is the developer, you're going to see Russian names, you're going to see Lithuanian names, South American. We don't know anything about these people or these companies, and yet they're good. Flashlight apps, the greatest of all examples. It takes a day's worth of work to build one, and the first flashlight apps to come out, all of them contained malware. We are a foolish society.
And we don't read the fine print. We just accept, and the fine print is fairly cryptic to begin with. So you may have let a benign game or Bible reading or something have access to your contacts, all your phone numbers, et cetera, right?
You mentioned Bible reading, okay? Look at most of the Bible reading apps, which are they're free. What do? At night, when your eyes are weak and you do not want to read the Bible, you tell the app to read it to you in voice. All the app needs access to is your speaker. And yet, if you look at the fine print, they want access to your camera, your microphone, your emails, your contacts. And good heavens, people, please. An app that only needs to speak to you does not need access to your camera to take videos of you. So we're not using the sense that God gave us to keep us away this morass, this swamp that is surrounding us now. So we need to wake up.
Yeah, a friend advised me that when a security question asks my mother's maiden name, I should type in grapefruit because they might be able to find out her name on Facebook, right? Are we telling hackers too much in social media?
I like that. That's a good idea, okay? Or use anything, raspberry, whatever. But no, do not give out your personal information to anyone under any circumstances. If someone demands it, throw away that app and get another one. Please, use your common sense. Once you've given out your Social Security number, your birth date, your address, and all of this, anyone in the world can impersonate you, can steal your identity. Well, is this what you want? I don't think so. And yet we do this because these apps give us an easy way to live. Right. They take away all of our minor little problems. Okay, I've got a flashlight here. Yeah. I don't need to go to the kitchen to get a flashlight. I have one on my telephone.
Yeah.
All of these things. Wake up, America. Wake up, world, please.
What are the best and worst passwords?
Okay, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this, but okay, the most common password is password. Password. That is the password. Okay. Then it's one. Depending on how many characters you need, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Seriously, we are not thinking. We are not using our heads. It's as if we do not care that someone invades our life, steals everything that we have, including our identity, and ruins the future for yourself, your friends, your family, and your children. Because that's what happens when we foolishly think, oh, well, the technology will take care of everything for me. So, no, it will take everything from you.
So avoid obvious stuff like your birthday, things that people could find out elsewhere. Put something nonsensical in there that nobody could guess. Does that help at all?
That's what I do, absolutely. I do things or use things which no one could possibly guess.
I gotcha. Hey,
and why? Because they are nonsensical.
Right.
Yes.
Free public Wi-Fi sells a lot of lattes. Am I out of my mind to log on at Starbucks?
Well, not only are you out of your mind, you need to be put away for rampant foolishness. Please, at a Starbucks or anywhere, I can sit down in the Starbucks with a very simple device that makes my broadcast looks like I'm Starbucks. I just call it Starbucks. If my signal is stronger than the Starbucks signal, I'm going to call it Starbucks 2. You're going to log into me.
Wow.
I will then pass through Starbucks, and you're thinking you're connected to Starbucks. So I'm sitting back watching everything you do. What are you typing in? Oh, that's very interesting. Oh, so you work for a bank. That's even more interesting. What position? Seriously.
So you're impersonating the Wi-Fi.
Yes, and it's the easiest thing in the world. Every hacker in the world has the facilities to sit at Starbucks and trap everybody's communication to the Starbucks Wi-Fi. Don't ever, under any circumstances, do that.
Hey.
Now, you have an option. You have LTE if you're willing to spend a few extra pennies a day that they can't tap into. But no, we like the ease of use. It's free. Starbucks is nice to give us this. No, they are not nice to give us this. If they have open tables where people can sit down anywhere near you, please. I have hackers white hat hackers, that for test purposes only will sit at Starbucks all weekend long and monitor everybody's communication to test things like, what are the most common passwords in this city at this time of day? No, seriously. So do not do that. Think through things.
Which is safer, paying bills by putting a hard copy check in an envelope in the mail or online banking?
Obviously, the hard copy check. I mean, you at least know who your mailman is who's picking it up, right? You may have known the mailman or mailwoman for years. You know the people at the bank who is going to break into the post office, find your letter, open it, and then reseal it. Please, no. It's so much easier just to sit back in the comfort of your living room and tap into your system using a keylogger and say, oh, he's logging into his bank account now. Good. What is your password? Whereas a check doesn't do anything other than he can steal the check, or and what are they going to do with it? No, the online banking offers your entire life up to hackers.
Every day.
Now, I'm not saying please go back to checks. I'm saying, but be aware. Use common sense.
But every day, anybody who leaves home is photographed hundreds of times. Cameras are everywhere, which is how the Boston Marathon bombers were identified so quickly. Can anybody out there aggregate all this stuff like they do in the Jason Bourne movies?
Yes, of course. Okay, you may not remember, less than a year ago, the very first IoT hack, the Internet of Things, where some unnamed hacker planted a program in some CCTV cameras that spread itself across the world. And then on a signal, those CCTV cameras started accessing the Internet until the entire eastern seaboard of the U.S. went down from the overload. Yes, anybody can access it. Why? These cameras were put in place sometimes years before the word cybersecurity was even coined.
Wow. Well,
and so they're the easiest thing in the world. Yes, of course.
John, as soon as this show is over, I'm going to go deep into the settings on my iPhone.